We usually always donate CDs by a local
All right, I'll talk to you.
Well, we already have some cordiality going on. I didn't even have to ask him to shake hands. Thank you, gentlemen. Again, there will be 4 questions in this segment. That will give each candidate the opportunity to answer first, once, twice. There you go. Yeah, my math teacher would be very proud of me because I always was terrible. That's why I went into English and history. All right, gentlemen. Mr. Oakley, since you are first on the ballot, you will have the opportunity to respond first to this question. Louisiana seems to have few allies. How can we build relationships with Pike County, the state, and other areas to be competitive in an ever-shrinking world? You have 2 minutes to respond, sir.
Wow. One of the few times it's not a privilege to be first. That's a very full, complicated question. And I'm going to answer it the best that I can. However, probably going to sound like I'm negative, which I may be somewhat. I think oftentimes we think that the council people should do this and should do that, and we hire other people to help. So I think probably my approach to that would be with the mayor, city administrator, and Mr. Tibbus, economic developer, and work with them and get some pointers from them. For me to sit here and to tell you that I have all the answers to those questions he asked, my part would be foolish, because I can't do that. I'm not qualified to do that.
Are you done, sir? Mr. Hooper, you have 2 minutes to respond.
Thank you. I came to the community of Louisiana through a cooperative effort of the 50 Miles of Art program and the economic development in the Providence Project. I heard a person from Louisiana, Ms. Karen Suckley, present a economic development program for the region to promote arts into the wonderful buildings in these historic towns along the Mississippi River. Immediately from the time that my wife and I heard about the project, the next week we came up here. We made an effort to meet with people both in Hannibal, Clarksville, and Louisiana. In our progress through the 3 communities, my wife found a home here in Louisiana that she fell in love with. And since I don't have a vote in those things, it was up to me to find a place to run a business. And the only reason that we moved our business first to Clarksville before coming up here is they had a building that was turnkey. It was a building that was ready for us to move into and start our business. As soon as the building that we are in now in Louisiana became available, even during the process when it was being rehabbed, we knew that we needed to expand, and we came and moved up here to the wonderful shop that we have. It's through regional thinking and cooperation between the communities that have similar projects and problems and infrastructure issues that we can learn from each other and also be assets, especially when marketing for businesses of any size, whether it be an arts and crafts business like myself, or a manufacturing business, or a fulfillment center like we have at 50. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Hooper, you will get the chance to respond first to the following question. Do you think it's important to live here for many years before you run for city office? Why or why not? You have 2 minutes, sir.
Well, I think that it is important that you have some experience within the community. My wife and I have lived here for 14 years, which for some people may not be enough, but I think with getting into the nooks and crannies of a community, 14 years is enough so that you can at least find out who is doing what, who the movers and shakers are, and the problems and the assets within the community. We're in a unique location with our shop. We're able to see people from all around the world that come into it and comment to us about both the positive and negative aspects of the community, and we're able to see what their reactions are when things change, when things grow, when businesses go out, businesses come in, assets, we move in an asset like Walmart, then we gain an asset like Orscheln. We're able to see that and grow with that. My wife and I spend over 100 nights a year away from this community in other little communities that have similar problems, and often they have very unique solutions, and we're able to bring those back, talk to people here in the community, and help them implement those unique solutions. And I think that brings me to the community, and being here for 14 years, I may be a newcomer to some of you, but also I have a unique outlook for the future, as well as looking back and not dwelling in the past.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Oakley, you have 2 minutes to respond.
Thank you. I've lived here for about 22 years, but my wife and I have been in business all that time, and that's why we moved here, because we drove up here one Sunday and fell in love with Louisiana, looked for a house and found a residence and made that our home. I think experience does help, no doubt, but I don't think that it's everything, because I have met people and served on the council with people that had no experience in city government but had a desire and a drive to help the community, and I have both. I have the desire and I have the experience. I've served on the council on 2 separate occasions. I've tried to work with the city council for unity. I think unity is our most important thing. So I think that experience does help, because you are familiar with city government, you're familiar with how things work, but I don't think that's an absolute necessity. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Oakley, this is the 3rd question. It's your turn to respond first. And the question is this: how do you ease tensions and acrimony that has been a part of city government for the last several years, at the meetings as well as in social media, and how specifically do you bring calm to that panel? You have 2 minutes to respond, sir.
Will you repeat that?
Yes, I will. How do you ease the tensions that have been and acrimony that's taken place in city government in the last few years at the meetings and in social media? And how do you specifically bring about calm to that city council?
As I mentioned in the last question, I think unity in the city government is vitally important. I don't think you can go on a council as a member or as a mayor with dissension or to settle disagreements or to get even. I think you have to go on with an open heart. You have to be willing to serve. You have to be willing to get along before you make that choice to serve. We've had people in the past, and I'm no exception, whether we sit on the council and we become irritable, we seem to not be able to get along. So I think what we need to do is we need to spend more time learning what the other person wants to try to achieve so we can help. I've seen things happen on the council where someone would come up with an idea, and because of dissension, it would be voted down, and I'm sitting in the audience trying to find out what that person's goal was. And I'm not choosing sides. I've seen that happen on so-called opposite sides. So I think that what we need to do is to try to work together, try to have understanding with each other, even though we may be able to disagree, but not be disagreeable. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Hooper, you have 2 minutes to respond.
I think the biggest problem is not really a problem at all. We need to listen to each other to start with. Listen to the other person. Ask them to clarify their point, no matter what it is. Have them put it in the simplest form so that we can understand what they really want and what they need. Understand what they want to get from the conversation, from the point, and then with a calm and peaceful heart, respond to them in what you think is the best thing for the community. And if we act without animosity, without an agenda, we can accomplish many things. You know, a river doesn't flow in just one direction. It has eddies, it has backwashes. Sometimes it goes forward, sometimes it goes backwards. And the big thing is to find out what the overall accomplishments that need to be taken place. Take that road that is going to get the community the best answers, the best outcome for the citizens at a whole, and if need be, take your pride and leave it at the door. Take your hate, leave it at the door. Let your personal feelings out in your personal space, but when you're in public space, you're there to serve the public, and that's the important thing.
Thank you. Mr. Hooper, you will have first chance at this question. And if I may say so, this is an audience question, and it's probably the most incredible question I've ever read at one of these candidate forums. So somebody out there you're all really intelligent, but this person I think should be in Mensa or one of those groups for really incredibly smart people, because the following, it's just less than 10 words. Okay, here's my math again. Okay, it's about 10 words. The question is this: if not elected, what would you do to help Louisiana? Mr. Hooper, you have 2 minutes to respond.
Thank you. I think if not elected, one of my things that I've been working with, especially in the last few months, is seeing what we can do with the economic development of this community. We have a lot of partnerships. Recently attended a conference put on by the Federal Reserve Bank, who helps provide loans and other monies for infrastructure improvements, for business improvements, and work within that to try to get to this community the type of businesses that will serve its people. We have a diverse group of people here. We have people that need jobs, but not all the people are qualified for those jobs. So it's working with VOTEC and finding the jobs that they can provide and trying to match those to businesses that have those specific needs. We have wonderful buildings in the downtown right now, many of which are vacant, but they are turnkey, like I was looking for when we moved to this area. If we are able to match businesses with those buildings by having an inventory of the buildings that are available, their amenities, their square footage, the type of infrastructure that is available there, we can get small businesses, maybe some of these internet startups, to come here and be in an area that has this wonderful river, has a wonderful architecture, and get these small businesses in early so that they can grow and then become even a greater part of our community. We also have the industrial park. It's finding the businesses that will fit their and will provide jobs on a larger scale, almost 20 employees or more. And I would like to work with economic development in this community because I think we have a great future here.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Oakley, you have 2 minutes to respond.
Thank you. I would continue to do what I've been doing for the last year. Most of you know I lost a seat to Miss Smith. I couldn't find her. I ran last year and I lost, and I'm not ashamed of that. But for the last year, I missed one council meeting. I still try to stay abreast of what's happening in the council and city government, and I think therefore I could serve you better this year than I would if I had stayed home. My wife and I contacted a grocery store before County Market was invited to come and got everything all set up. The man had the financing, he had the backing. He could not get any communication with the property owners or Kroger, so he was not able to come. My wife and I, with the help of Miss Wallace, contacted Pamita and Palmyra, trying to get them to come here, and they were interested, and then we got kind of sidetracked with County Market and dropped the ball to see what's happening there. That's still not out of the question. So my wife and I, we've been trying to get some businesses in here. What you have to do is to reach out, because I don't find anybody that's knocking on any doors here saying, who do I need to see about opening my business? So we need to let people know what's available, what we can. I think there are only certain businesses at this time that would come here. We need buildings, we need places for them to come. And the other thing that I'm interested in is residential areas. There's a lot of people that have...
Thank you, sir. I don't think, can you imagine if such a question had been asked at the presidential debates? What kind of spin would have been put on that? Man. Thank you, gentlemen. We will now proceed to your 2 minutes to say whatever you would like about your candidacies. Mr. Oakley, since you are on the ballot first, you will get the first chance. You have 2 minutes, sir.
Thank you. First, I want to thank everyone that came out, even those especially that supported me, but those that did not, and thank you for being interested in city government. And I think that's the most important thing that we are lacking in this community is we need to arouse the people and get them interested in city government. I think we're lacking there. Whoever the candidates are for mayor, I would work and support whoever is elected, whoever that might be. Again, Miss Smith, I would like to pick on her because I think she and I could work good together. I know she's in economic development, and I like to get with Mr. Tibbs and continue trying to get business in here and see what we can do about getting some revenue. When I'm out campaigning, the most important thing that people complain about is our streets. And I try to explain to them that we're on a limited budget, and we're not going to get more revenue in until we get more people in. It only works that way. It only comes from tax money. So I think that we need to get in, spend the tax as wisely as we can, get as much done for the tax dollar, treat our city employees like they are people. I think some of the city employees feel like they're abused, and I think we as citizens should stand behind them and support them. I would like to see them being helped with their insurance. If we can give them a raise, I think if we take pride in our own city, I think it's going to grow. If we take no pride in our cities, I don't think we're going to go anywhere. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Hooper, you have 2 minutes to say whatever you'd like about your candidacy.
Thank you. I think while serving on city council, I can work with all the councilmen, work across the aisles and find the common ground that works for the best things for Louisiana. Work together on cleaning up the streets, the buildings, finding a way to get the people of the city involved in their government, get the city employees to have one real thing that they can work towards together, and that is having pride in their job and in their city. And I think if they are able to have smiles on their faces and know that their job means that people in the city are having better roads, are having cleaner sewers, better water, that will give them the pride to have smiles on their face and do a better job. Working with economic development to bring businesses of all sizes into the community and expand and keep the ones that we have, because job retention and business retention is something that we need to work on to make sure that the businesses that are here and are being nurtured here by us don't go away to somewhere else. Improving the infrastructure of the city in a way that makes common sense for the type of businesses that we're trying to promote, for the citizenry here, and also in a way that doesn't break the budget, keeping within our tax framework for what we can do. Having the public be involved in the budgetary process so they can pick and choose the things that any surpluses are used for to make the city a better place for them.
Thank you very much. Gentlemen, shake hands. Let's give them a round of applause. We will now take a 5-minute break and come back with the fourth ward candidates.